I feel like it's not a hot take to say this, but Superman 78 is a very important movie to its genre. I don't believe it was the first superhero comic book movie, but it might as well have been. It was, and still is, renowned for its desire to share Superman's innate goodness with the world and its love for his character. As portrayed by the best movie tagline ever, "You'll believe a man can fly." Oh, yeah. That's a fucking movie tagline. Also, hi Dad, I know you said I should probably cut out the cursing for the algorithm, so I did it just that one time, because, fuck the algorithm. I'm an adult. Now I'm going to talk about Superman and comic books. Welcome back to Reboot Review, the show where we go over old movies and talk about them before they're remade with less soul. Well, it would be if we weren't talking about Superman today. In my undying effort to prepare for July 2025, where we're slated to, hopefully, see the revival of both Marvel and DC with two movies called Fantastic Four First Steps and Superman, respectively. Like I said in the little cold open, Superman is incredibly iconic, and that's kind of all that it is. Look, this is going to be the last time I'm going to say this, for the older movies at least. But it's really easy to say this movie looks bad, even easier than Fantastic Four. But honestly, I think that relative to the time, it looks really good. The visual design and everything is very charming and unique. The practical effects look really impressive. And honestly, the only real failing with the looks is when they use a green screen. But I can't even use a green screen and it's 2024, so why am I complaining? I think this movie's greatest strength is its representations of characters. Clark and Superman feel so different. They have the perfect level of, or lack thereof, charisma to make their specific characters work. Also, Lois Lane is incredible. She feels like a strong woman who just happens to have a crush on Superman. She's just a girl who's also really career focused, and that's really important to have. It doesn't feel as forced as some bad writers would make it. It's super easy to just make Lois Lane damsel in distress. She's always doing dumb things and getting in trouble. But honestly, she's just really good and focused on her job. She just happens to have a crush on the most powerful, famous man on the planet. Like, who wouldn't, right? If Superman was real, we would all have a crush on him. Her relationship with Clark is super cool too in relation to that. The dichotomy between Clark and Superman both being in love with Lois Lane and Lois only liking Superman is super interesting, and I think it plays out really well in other movies. Speaking of which, yep, the chapter is correct. We're already in the bad section. You might think that it's because I think this movie is more bad than good, but in actuality, I just don't think it's really a movie. This film only serves to introduce these characters and set up their relationships and jobs and their roles within the world. Then they throw in a little bit of drama, I guess, then they end the movie. And honestly, spoiler alert, but the next movie isn't too much different. These movies don't really feel like they're progressing the characters as much as you'd expect from a superhero movie. Honestly, aside from the pretty impressive for the time effects and the great character work, there isn't much to say about this movie review-wise. Honestly, from what I can tell, this entire series is just a bunch of really cute, good representations of comic book characters. And honestly, I haven't seen much after Superman the movie 2, but it doesn't feel like that changes throughout the series. I'm still going to talk about Superman the movie 2, because I need to make videos about things. I can't just keep forgetting to make a video about what I want to talk about. That isn't to say there isn't stuff to make videos about with this movie. I mean, I accidentally wrote an entire script in a draft for this one, but there just isn't much to actually review with these movies. So this one's going to be very short, and so is the next Superman one. This movie is really good and definitively pioneered the genre. It didn't just make superheroes cool to like, it made it impossible to not like them. This movie did its job and made people believe a man could fly. And honestly, despite seeing so many superhero movies throughout my life, after watching this one, I will occasionally walk around outside, look up, and smile. 8 out of 10.